Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
I want to really thank you all for coming to our Listing Mania panel this morning. And I actually want to acknowledge a couple of people before we get started. I want to really thank India Webster. She's the team leader at KW in Clifton for actually organizing and really hounding all of us to get this thing going for the last month. And she is relentless. And then I also want to acknowledge Sharon Aronson. She's the team leader at the KW Summit and also KW Westfield. And also Joe Kozo, who is the team leader in Montgomery for getting all this together. And I actually think this collaboration is an awesome idea. It also helps me getting my training calendar together because it's half filled with other events happening in other market centers. So it's all good. Now, I also want to thank our tech staff or tech ambassadors and directors from each market center, because they're the ones that really make this whole thing happen. I wouldn't have a clue. You have to tell me where to click. That's it. And I also want to thank our vendors who are providing prizes for all our panelist attendees. So I'm really grateful for all of you this morning. So before I introduce you to the panelists, and also actually I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I just wanted to let you know, not only are these agents mega agents, and what I mean by that, they're out there every day kicking butt, right? But they also exhibit the KW culture at a high level. And what I mean by that is, on this panel, you have people that have food drives. You have people that have served on school boards. They are serving on our board of realtors. They are, I mean, you name it, they are actually doing it. They're also serving on our national and regional social equity task force. So these agents are not only doing business, but they're also giving back and providing, well, at least demonstrating the KW culture at a high level, and even showing up this morning. Because I'm going to tell you, most of them are super, super busy. Some of them are even doing dual states. And I can't tell you, they're really, really awesome individuals. And with the current world we currently live in, where you have to have your children in Zoom classrooms, I know it's pretty crazy. So we're going to get started. I'm going to allow each of you to introduce yourself. And then we'll go from there. I'm looking at the screen, so we can go according to the screen. Whichever way you guys want to go, we can start from the bottom, top, or whoever is the bravest this morning who's had their coffee and want to get started. So let's just do that. Please introduce.
Leslie, can I suggest that you pick someone and then that person picks the next one, because everybody's screen is different.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'd like to get started with Laura Giacobbe, because she's on my screen as right there. And then Laura can name whoever's next or behind her on that. So Laura, please introduce yourselves to everyone and tell us a little bit about yourself. And just remember something else too. Please let us know what areas you're working, because one of the things that happen from these panels is that people reach out to you for you to help them in whatever areas that you're working in and provide referrals. So, all right, Laura, so tell us a little bit about yourself and then nominate the next person.
Hi, I'm Laura Giacobbe. I've now been doing real estate for 3 years full time. I am on my school board here in Rahway. So I predominantly do Union County, Middlesex County, but I also do Monmouth. And as I mentioned to Lorraine, I pretty much, if I have a referral, I will go anywhere in New Jersey. I like mentoring people at our market center, and I'm part of the Agentship Leadership Council. What else did you want to know about? Some specifics, usually they give you like, okay, say this.
It's okay. It's okay. That's fine. That's fine. So I know one of your goals is to be gold this year. Was that?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So there we go.
Yeah, one of my goals. And if all the things I have under contract close this year, then I will actually go over it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Who are you nominating next?
Lorraine? This is my screen.
All right.
course, the phone is ringing now.
That's the life of a realtor, right?
Okay. So, hi, I'm Lorraine Calavito, Keller Williams Elite. I've been with Keller Williams Elite since they started. I have been a realtor though since 1993. Some of the participants were not even born then. And I am also on the ALC. I had been on for about 10 years, took a hiatus while I was doing my NAR, NJR, MCAR board stuff, and I'm back. And let's see, yeah, I'm also on the social equity,
Task force.
so which I'm really excited about. Really, really good things, and this is what I love about W and the culture.
Awesome. Awesome. Who are you nominating?
Oh, and
Lorraine?
I do list in, I do sex, I do Union County, I do Hunterdon, obviously. Monmouth and Ocean, and I just sold things down there, a lot of things down in Monmouth and Ocean. So I will nominate Shadamanj.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kathy.
Sotomanch. I've been with Keller Williams since I got my license back in 2006. I love my KW family. I am a member of CJ MLS, Garden State MLS, Bright Trend MLS, Ocean MLS. I try to be available to go where my people need me to go, but I do have certain boundaries. Now, my furthest contract that I have is out in Stewartsville, which is in Warren County. That's like an hour away. I
Wow.
not to go that far away. I just got one of my offers accepted this morning in North Brunswick, 9 offers. So we won. They listened to me. It's a wonderful thing. I also serve on the grievance committee and policies and procedures, because I think that's a really big thing right now, is trying to get everyone to do what they're supposed to be doing. And that's about it.
Awesome. So who
And
do
I nominate Angela.
Good morning, everybody. I'm coming to you live from my deck where I have locked my patio door so my children can't run out and interrupt us. Woo! I got licensed in August of 2017. This has been the best thing that I've ever done. I'm so thrilled to kind of be on this journey. And, you know, I primarily work Middlesex County, and, you know, part of my challenge, as many others, is to figure out this whole current world with small children and Zoom. So part of that is to be able to provide my best to my people, is to restrict where I'm working. So I'm mostly Middlesex County, but I am venturing out into Union as need be. Let me see, where am I working? You know, I'm a very big contributor to my local community. I do constant food drives in the area for a food pantry, and I have served on my local zoning board for the last 6 years. Very difficult, thankless position, but you know, very excited to be here at KW. I switched in December, and I've never felt so much at home. So thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, who do you want? Akila?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Akil, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, hi. I'm Akila. I've been with Keller Williams for last 15 years. This is the first place where I started, and it's been a long journey. And I'm more of a, you know, I've turned myself to be more of a listing agent. I started with the buyer's agent. And in my 15 years of this journey, I would say, learned a lot, you know, learned to haggle with these clients, and, you know, just keep running after them. That's, you know, that's been the key. And, you know, I'm here. I work, you know, I try to, you know, take days off, but I think it's just like an addiction. You just keep working.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know Akila, she comes off like, you know, I dabble in real estate. Akila is actually a platinum level agent, okay? I'm just saying, I just do a little thing here and there, whatever. No, Akila is making it happen every day. In fact, I don't even know how she does it, but that's what we're gonna find out today. All right, wonderful. Thanks so much for being here, Akila. And Amber Noble, who actually, I'm so glad you're able to join us today. Can you share about yourself and tell us who you are, what you do?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Because you certainly can't see me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you, Amber. Technical difficulties. It's fine.
Yes, technical difficulties, but we're going to keep pressing on. So, first of all, Leslie, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of Listing Mania. I'm a maniac about my listings, so I was super excited. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. My name is Amber Noble. I've been a licensed New Jersey agent for nearly 14 years. Most recently, I was a broker associate and had spent a number of years with Adele DeMoro's group over at KW West Monmouth and Monmouth Ocean. I'm now a broker of record in New Jersey for a quaint little KW brokerage that is the sister brokerage to my Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, KW Philly brokerage, where I'm also a realtor. So I'm licensed dually in PA and New Jersey. So if anyone needs any help in Philly and the surrounding suburbs, I got you covered. I am happy to be here. I am wild about listings and I can't wait to share and learn from each of you.
Awesome. Thank you again. Thank you guys again. Well, what we're going to really talk about is really more or less the 3 L's, but we really want to start on how you get it. Well, let's just back up a little bit. We all know that we're living in what we call an unprecedented time, new world. I get tired of even saying it myself. Okay. But we know it's not what we're accustomed to. So, one of the things that I'm going to say, I'm really proud of our Keller Williams agents is that even though with everything that's going on, our numbers are pretty much on point to 2019, right? So that means we've had to pivot and make some changes and do things differently because some others, their numbers are completely down. And it's understandable because this is not the world as we normally know it. So I wanted to get an opportunity to hear from you guys that are really kicking it at a high level. What is it that you're doing differently or the same for that matter in terms of getting listings, marketing listings? For example, we know marketing listings now is probably, you have to put like a sanitizing station, right? That's part of the whole thing. So everything is a little bit different. I've even heard of drive-by closings. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So we're going to go down for 3 parts, really. We're going to talk about what are you doing these days to get listings? What does that look like? We're going to talk about how you're marketing your listings. And then we're going to talk about how do you actually get them to the closing table? Because that could be a challenge, specifically when you have buyers that are participated in a bidding war and they are very competitive. They want to win. They're bidding $50,000, $100,000 over price. And now, right around inspection, they're suffering from buyer's remorse, right? So all kinds of interesting things are going on. And then, of course, other things as well. So let's start, and any one of you, I mean, I'll just point out to one person, but I do want to hear from every one of you on each of those questions. And then finally, I want you guys to share, what are you looking to implement in 2021 so that you can continue to accomplish your goals, or at least proceed at a high level. So that's what we're going to cover today. So again, you guys that are attending this, strap your seatbelts on. It's going to might get a little wild in here. So it's all good though. So why don't we start with you, Amber, because you were last. What are you actually doing these days? What is the current source of most of your listings? How much of that has changed or stayed the same? Where are you getting your business from?
So I would say that the lion's share of my listings are coming from referrals and past clients. And when I say referrals, I mean, I get a ton of agent to agent referrals. I belong to various affinity groups on Facebook. I have, sought out, like when you see those different commercials, Home Light, this, that, some of those places, even though they seem like they're anti-realtor, they actually do provide realtors with listing opportunities. You pay them a referral fee, just like you would pay another agent. And sometimes you may have to compete. They may send in three agents to a listing appointment. You have to fill out an application and that sort of thing. But once you've sort of mastered your pitch, then it's a great source of referrals. I've used Command. I make sure that my profile is completely filled out in KW Command, so that when they're looking in the areas that I specialize in, that my name comes up. I make sure that even though I do the old, good old traditional paper referral sheet, I also make sure I intentionally double up and put my referrals in Kelly, because it shows that you are actually doing business, and it helps boost your rankings in Command, so that when those referral opportunities come, you're considered. And as it relates to my past clients, I've just been sincerely and genuinely checking on people. I think that right now people, there's uncertainty. There's some people dealing with anxiety, isolation. I mean, we're dealing with it because realtors are human beings first and foremost, but a lot of the people that we serve in the past and the ones we want to serve in the future, people just want to know that, you're not just going to pop up on them when you need something, or you want a listing, right? Or you want to sell a house.
Yes.
And I just, for GP, I just kind of just check on people and go in a little rotation. Hey, how you doing? Just want to let you know, I was thinking about you. Is there anything I can, do for you? And I ask people, can I help you? How can I be of service to you? Not just as it relates to real estate. I've had seniors say, hey, I couldn't get my medicine and they couldn't deliver my medicine, or, I need something from the grocery store. And, I'll do that. The amount of money I spend on gas is a lot less expensive than client acquisition or customer acquisition costs, as much as mailing out a postcard or buying some tchotchke. But it resonates so much deeper with people. And then people call me, they remember me.
Yeah,
Oh.
I actually saw someone on Facebook the other day, basically, who happened to be a realtor but owns property in other states and cities, have you as their realtor, and basically saying how great it was working with you. So I do know you get a lot of referrals, primarily from KW agents, and that I think speaks highly of.
Oh, you're talking about me, Leslie?
Yes, I'm talking about you, Amber.
Oh, CJ, yeah, exactly. And he's a realtor. He is a tough customer. And he's let me sell over $1 million worth of properties for him in Philly.
Yeah.
He lives down in Maryland.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of thing. So if I had to sort of encapsulate all that I just said, the theme would be check on people, check in with people, check in with your colleagues in other places, and see how people are doing.
Yeah, we actually forgot to do that part, the check-in with colleagues, but you're absolutely right. Thank you. How about you, Akila? Where's the source of your business coming from lately, your listings? What are you doing? What are you doing different? What are you doing the same? You're muted.
I'm sorry about that. So listings mostly are coming from past clients, referral, asking people around if somebody wants to buy or sell. Cold calling has been down this year, and even since last year, it went kind of very slow. But more is, referrals, ask people if they're looking to sell.
Right, so you're just asking for business.
Asking for business, knowing people for all these years. I've had people who bought their first home. They moved in a bigger home. Now they're buying investment properties. So it's like a cycle. If you're there on their face, they'll give you business.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be around. You have to be around.
You have to. Yes.
It has to come from your heart. You have to. It's your relation that you build with the people, and they know that you're going to be there watching their interests. They come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Akila. How about you, Laura Jacoby? How are you getting business?
I got a couple of things actually off of Facebook, and believe it or not, I get a lot of listings from open houses. I got 3 of them this year from open houses, and I have 4 set up next year from my open houses.
Wow.
So it's just, you gotta ask if you own that home and when are you looking, because sometimes they're just looking to meet a real estate agent. Like I just did a open house in a condo complex on the listing that I did. I'm gonna be listing 2 of them next year. Yeah, and then the house that I listed from the condo was from my open house in another house in the same town. So 2 of my listing came from expireds from the previous year, because I noticed that basically I called because the market has changed so much and gone up like cuckoo bird crazy nuts. So I basically called a couple of expireds in town, and I was like, well, it's not the same market as last year. Your house expired. I saw it didn't go on sale. So that's how I got a couple of them. And of course, referrals and past clients. I'm listing a house next week that I sold to her, like it was my second sale ever in the business. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's basically, I guess, where I'm getting my business.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm hearing is you're not just sitting there waiting for it to drop in your lap, right?
Oh, no. I consistently work, and now that we're able to do open houses again, I believe it or not, I do an open house every single weekend, sometimes Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. And yeah, and I know Akila does as well. Well, I'm going to ask Angela the same thing. And Angela, we have a nickname for you. What do we call you, Angela?
I'm known as the mother hustler because I'm always dragging my poor 6-year-old and 21-month-old around with me. Right now, obviously, that's a little bit hampered, but they're always a part of they're my life. And I think, a couple of things that were touched on are so important. The first thing for me is always be genuine. People, like, this is such an emotional process to sell their home or decide to move in. And if they feel that you are a true partner, it's so much more pleasant and easier to work with. I do have to say a lot of my business is definitely Facebook driven. I get an awful lot of leads through there. I'm a big believer in, just constantly staying busy, posting about what you're doing. If you're a new agent, just post that you're showing a place. You don't even have to be under contract. Hey, I'm out here. This is look at this bathtub. It's the bathtub of my dreams. Now how many responses I get to things like that. So people connect with you when you're genuine. I also, I run a very large moms group in my town for about 6 years. And it's interesting because buyer patterns have changed, right? And people don't own homes forever anymore. It's not how we are. So these people that I am welcoming with open arms and full genuine just embrace of welcoming them, when they decide to move on, they have another baby, they outgrow, their kids graduate from high school, they reach out to me to list. So a lot of my listings are definitely coming from me just being known as a helper. They've come to me in the past for an electrician, randomly just for a plumber, and then when it comes time for them to sell their house, I'm looked at as a trusted resource. And I do guard that, fiercely. So I would say it's just about being consistently out there and genuine with your circle of influence.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And I know for a fact I've seen her load her car with food for the food drives that she does. So, and the kids in tow, by the way. So they're all part of it. Thank you. How about you, Lorraine? What are you doing to get business listings these days?
Okay, so there's quite a few sources, but the most I think is referrals and past clients. Especially being in the business for the length of time I've been in the business. Sometimes these clients 2 and 3 houses over the years I've listed and sold, and to multi-generational as well. So that helps when they have kids and now they want to buy. So there's something too that I wanted to say what Amber was saying about checking in, and that's key. And I know, Angela, we spoke about this. We have a very hyper local group during the worst of the pandemic in March and April. We were reaching out and just checking in, literally went down my phone and just checked in and checked in and checked in. As a result of that, it did lead to more business, and it wasn't for that purpose. It really wasn't.
No.
It was just being concerned, about your past clients. They pop in your head sometimes, and you really just want to check in. Also, too, I am a CRS, so I do get referrals from that. I am also a home light. I do get those leads too from Home Light. Women's Council of Realtors is another source. I have people call me sometimes from California. How did you find me? Oh, you're a women's council and I saw your credentials. And also to Kelly, because when Akila and I were away, when Kelly first came out, we were running around getting everybody into our phones like crazy. So just, so that's another source, and multiple referrals sometimes from some of those people. So that's about it. As far as buyers, I reach out to my past rental people. I put them right on my calendar for the 10th month of that rental to reach out to them to say, hey, it's time to buy. And sometimes they are ready and sometimes they're not.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. All right, Kathy. So where are you getting your listings from?
Well, primarily right now, it's all mostly referral driven. Most of my sellers are either elderly or they have health problems. So when they trust you and then you have a transaction with them, they have other people that they know that are looking. And so it's like people are watching to see how everything is going to happen. So that's a big source. Also, my past clients, either they're moving up, or sometimes they're downsizing, or sometimes they're, moving out of state to get out of Jersey. I do a lot of the old expireds as well, because in this market, it's not the same market that it was just a couple of years ago. So if you're looking to cash out, this is the time to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Personal referrals right now is most of it.
Yeah, referrals. Okay. Well, all right. So let's go into marketing. So, and you guys can let me know, what do you do different in terms of marketing? Because I know from virtual listing appointments, we've done virtual open houses. I mean, all kinds of interesting and new things, which is wonderful, because I think we should continue to do those things. What are you doing different? And we're going to start with you, Angela, this time. What are you doing different to market?
Perfect. Well, I'm confronting people's fears heads on. So right now, especially when we first were getting back out there, the biggest concern from people was, I don't want anyone walking through my house right now. I don't want to list because I'm afraid. So what I chose to do very early on is I set up a sanitizing station outside of every open house. And I know it's so little, but I have a sign up. I'm happy to share it, just with some of the protocols that I expect, masks, having your hands sanitized. But what I'm doing is I'm setting a tone, right? You're not coming in that house unless, you're respecting the rules. It also makes my listing clients much more comfortable. What I do even inside the listing, not open houses, I have a sanitizing station. So right when they go in, it's line of sight right to a hand sanitizer pump. And what that's doing is it's kind of perpetuating itself. Exactly. There you go, Lorraine.
That's what she made.
That's
We all
exactly
have
what it is. So, it helps itself, because then the people that have been nervous about listing say, oh, I see you're able to do it. And my friend told me it went well and they didn't feel uncomfortable. I've even gone through the house myself at the last showing of the day. When we first hit market, there's a lot of showings, usually those first early days. I'll go with hand sanitizing wipes myself and wipe down all the light switches. I did have a dear friend and agent, I don't know if she's on the call, say to me, really, why are you doing that? But you know what? If it's that little extra bit that's going to make them feel comfortable, I'm going to do it. And it has resulted in more business.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, I also see you on Facebook as well. You're pretty much making sure that you have that. So, okay, I saw somebody said, can you please share the property showing rules? Okay, all right, so we can put that in the chat if you have it. Okay, awesome. So what about you, Laura? What are you doing differently to market?
Okay, so I'm being more actually proactive on social media, specifically making sure that I friend everybody that I'm clients with, and then having them share and like on their page and asking all their family and friends to share and like on their page. I also have joined various groups throughout the state, whether it be and like New York and Brooklyn and whatever, because they're the ones coming here. So I'm joining community groups in New York to post my listings there as well. So obviously virtual is and social media is a lot to do with the marketing now.
Yeah, yeah. All right. What about you, Amber? What does marketing look like for you these days, or is it the same?
It's the same. I'm exploiting my listings a lot more than I used to. Like when I first started out, they say you got to kind of take it back to the basics. So when I first got licensed years back in 2007, I had billboards on the highway. I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Just throwing money at the wall. And then what I realized is that I kind of got into a groove and I got comfortable. And so COVID made me uncomfortable. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go take it back to the old school. And every listing I get, I exploit the heck out of it. So I'm going to have my sign writers with a call to action on top of my sign saying text or call Amber. I'm going to make sure that I do just list it when it goes pending or under contract. Like I want to take credit for my inventory and make sure that they know that I did this. And when that bad boy sells, then I'm going to do that as well. I am challenging myself to get on Facebook and show myself, or at the very least let you hear my voice, because I really want the focus to be on the listing. But I'm trying to be more intentional about doing that, because sometimes people say, oh gosh, I never see you post about your your listings that much anymore. And because I don't want to inundate people, because it's like anybody else who works has a different kind of career, like do they get to come on Facebook and say, hey, I ordered some paper clips today, hey, I do this? People don't necessarily want to hear everything you do at work, but we think because we're realtors that people want to hear about what we do all day. So, but what I do realize is that you can't be a secret agent. And I have so much business going on that I haven't really been as focused as I want to be about sharing those wins, right, with the world. So I am making myself, even when my face is not beat and my hair is not done, just hear my voice, I'm making myself get on social media with it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. What about you, Keela? What are you doing to market your listings? Or they're selling too fast? You on mute again, Akila.
Yeah, the best thing these days is if you have listings, put under ACS, active coming to show. Take few days so it's up there. You can generate some buyers, okay? Even if you sell it or not, at least those buyers come in. That's your future business. Even if they don't buy this house, they're going to be your client. So that's how you can generate more buyers and try to sell it. It's stations are there as soon as people are entering. I have notes highlighted in yellow. Please wear shoes, covers, gloves. I'm putting 2 bins outside these days, one for shoes and one for dirty gloves. I'm dropping boxes of gloves and pump sanitizers and everything. We have to make these sellers very happy and safe that we are watching their interest. even if one is being used, leave extra with them. So they're happy that, you're watching their interest. You just have to do genuinely also, not just like, agents which are going in, let them know they have to be very careful. Don't touch anything. Have your sellers leave half closet doors open. You just have to let those people know that are coming in that they're not supposed to touch anything, and people are respecting it. So
Yeah.
it's for their safety, my safety, your safety, everybody's safety. So I
Yeah.
don't think that has been a little, stressful. The stress has been to get more inventory in the market, because people are not very willingly happy to put it unless they have a reason to move out.
Yeah.
So
Well, actually, I mentioned Akila well, everybody knows now Akila is tough. I actually remember Akila coming into my office about a year ago, and she's like, "I'm not hitting my numbers." I'm like, "You're not." And I'm like, "What numbers aren't you hitting, Akila?" She's like, "I don't seem to have the opportunity to sell my listings. They're selling too fast." This is a year ago, by the way, guys. She's like, "Everybody's selling my listings. I don't get a chance to sell my own listings." And I literally turned the question back at her, and I said, "Well, what do you think you should do?" And
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
she came up with the idea. I'm going to say coming soon, and which is what she just shared with you now. And that helped her. But the important thing, though, she's watching her numbers. She knows where she was at last year versus this year, or last quarter versus last quarter, and implementing different things to accomplish her goals. So when you mentioned that, it kindly reminded me that we had that conversation where you literally were concerned about not having the opportunity to sell some of your own listings. So good job for implementing that, Akila. Awesome. How about you, Lorraine? What are you doing to market your listings?
Well, I'm very, very lucky that most of them are just flying off the shelves. Janine can tell you it's in. I don't get a chance to even bring any potential buyers myself. Offers are coming in. I'm very blessed. But the usual, and I do love the active coming soon, because I used to be afraid of that, because I was always afraid of getting a fine if I didn't do it right from the MLS. But now I do it all the time, and it really is, especially in this market, it really hits home. I'm always online just checking to see how many hits like the actual buyers are doing. I'm monitoring that as well. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something else that you're doing, Lorraine, that is part of marketing your listings. And you guys may not think of it as marketing your listings, but when you're a great agent to work with, that markets your listing. People are more apt to say, "Yeah, Lorraine listed that," or "Angela listed that," or "Akil." Yeah, because they're great to work with. Because there are some agents you kind of like, oh, So believe it or not, how you present yourself, how you work with others is actually a great tool or part of marketing your listings, because other agents actually want to show your listings, and because they want to work with you, because they know you're excellent at what you do, and you're exhibiting the highest level of ethical behavior. Is how I'm going to put that. But I wanted to point that out as well. All right. Hey, Kathy, how about you? Kathy actually has a marketing machine. So what are you doing, Kathy?
Well, first of all, it helps to have a really great photographer. That's number one. That's a big thing, especially because when I'm on a tight timeline, I can say, "Can you hurry up and get it done for me?" Where I have a little bit of leverage there over other agents. It doesn't always work, but it does help. Also, so what I like to do, obviously, is the active coming soon. I think that's a really strong marketing tool. And I usually will put my listings in on a Tuesday for showings to start on a Thursday. So by the time Thursday gets there, it's already booked solid. That's really important. And so when I take a listing, because people are very concerned about, well, people coming into my house, da, 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 da. And like I said, most of my clients are either elderly or sick. So I tell them, you know, if you are, follow my advice, this is going to be short and sweet. So usually you put it in on a Tuesday, showing start on a Thursday. By Sunday, we're doing highest and best. It's that simple. And it drives up the frenzy so that you're getting all these offers that are driving up the prices. And, you know, sometimes when you're dealing with older people, they're like, well, let's list it up here and then we have room to negotiate down. And I said, no, let's list it down here. We'll get more offers and it's going to get you where you want to be. And it worked pretty well. Also, I advertise a lot in homes and estates. And what I like about them is they syndicate to the Wall Street Journal. That's number one. But two, for my active coming soon, I'm putting it in there. And then when the next issue comes in, I can show that that active coming soon had multiple offers within a few days. And my sold listing sold for, you know, 25,000 over listing, 50,000 over listing, whatever it is. And it's a great marketing tool for me to show, you know, if you're concerned about the market right now, this is it. You know, this is not, you know, puff. This is the real thing. This is how it's really working. I do insist that people showing my listings, and I'm like a maniac about this, and I know it, but, you know, conspiracy Kathy strikes again. Everyone that shows my listing must sign a COVID-19 form. And it's got to be the one that I have, not the other one, I think, through Najar. And so I think that not only for our safety perspective for our clients, but I think that when all of this starts to kind of unravel, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of lawsuits. I believe that potentially that could be an issue for us, that if someone comes down with COVID, you know, it was because someone came into my house and, you know, maybe they weren't properly vetted, or when they start doing tracing. So for me, I know it's a little extreme, but that's how I'm handling. And my sellers are, it seems to make them much more comfortable. And of course, we do put out all the PPE for them, and we have the sanitizers and the new, you know, I'm spending a ton of money on booties like crazy. But that's pretty much what we're doing for our marketing.
Well, you know, you mentioned something else that is actually a big part of marketing that we tend to, you know, kind of pricing. Pricing is a big part of marketing, because if the price is wrong, you're not selling, right?
Yeah, and I've got a couple of people that, you know, they're getting their information from, you know, somebody else, and you're like, okay, fine. And, you know, guess what? They're not selling.
Yeah, exactly, because pricing is a big part. Hey, how about you, Angela? You thought I forgot about you? Okay.
I went first.
Oh, you did?
I
Oh,
went first.
oh, awesome. You went about.
Did Laura go?
I gotta keep track. No, that's okay. That's
All
I
right.
think we did everyone, so we're good. We're good. Awesome. So let's go back now to getting to the closing table. So you got a listing, you marketed it successfully, you got a contract, you out of attorney review, and now you got to get it to the closing table. It sounds like you're pretty much done after you get it under contract, but then you're not. So what is different? What do you have to do to make sure you get to the closing table? And what I'm talking about is we're dealing with appraisals, we're dealing with buyer's remorse, all those kind of fun things. So what are you specifically doing to make sure that the contract you get actually gets to the closing table? Because after all, we don't get paid unless we close. So we're going to start with Keela this time. What are you doing? Oh, Lorraine is excited.
No, I have to say, if you don't counsel your buyers and tell them ahead of time that that pie in the sky price may not be realistic, you're going to have a problem. Counsel them and counsel the buyers. Let them know ahead of time. This may not be a realistic number. And if they have that in the back of their mind, odds are you won't have that issue when the time comes.
Right. So you're saying to do client consultation.
100%.
Really set up their expectation of what the market is, what's realistic, what can happen. Awesome. Absolutely.
I like to say, give them the real number.
Yeah, that's from both sides. Absolutely. All right, Akila, what are you doing to get your under contracts to the closing table?
Okay, so the first challenge is when you're negotiating, you want your offer to be accepted. But with this multiple offers, you definitely have to go higher. Okay.
Mhm.
You have to, like Lorraine says, the reality number and what you're achieving. There's a little bridge that you have to gap. So you have to educate your client that this is what it should have been. But since the market is changing, this is what you are paying. If you want the house, you have to pay. If you don't want the house, you miss this, the next home that you're gonna buy, you'll pay more than that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what you don't pay now is because you don't want to pay. But the next home that you will find is going to be higher than this on what you're going to miss. So you have to educate them. You have to bring them the reality. You have to make them understand on the appraisals issues that if the appraisal comes low, if they're putting 10% down, they can use that money to bridge the gap. Sometimes people will say yes, they will have remorse. Out of 10, it's a number game. Okay, if you have 4 contracts, something falls because of the appraisal, try to educate the people before. You have to show them the value of the house.
Beforehand, before you get
Beforehand, definitely beforehand. Let the other agent put some package together when the appraisal guy is coming in, what more was done in the home. You be there. If the agent wants to come there, let the stats be showed to the appraisal guy. You literally have to work twice, because earlier, if the appraisal didn't come, it's okay, seller's going to reduce price. But now, before the offers are accepted, like sellers are asking the appraisal to be waived off, the home inspections to be waived off, the mortgage to be waived off. Like, unbelievable with what's going on in this market. So you've got to do your work ahead and prepare your clients. And also, no matter what you do, if your buyer misses a home, the second one, he's going to be ready. So you do your job, understand him. To some point, you can force somebody, but you can't go to somebody's wallet and make him sign a check. So you just have to have that edge, and sometimes make them miss a home, and then the second one, they'll grab it.
Yeah, got it, got it. How about you, Angela? What are you doing to get there? Because we do have all those fun issues, and I know sometimes you don't really want to tell your buyer, go ahead and waive inspection and waive this and waive that. So
So here's the thing. I mean, we're talking about listings today, so I actually would like to talk about it from the listing perspective. Okay. I'm doing both buyers and listings right now, but I can tell you, sure, we get multiple offers and we're done in 4 or 5 days, but we still have a heavy load to carry getting that through the closing table, right? So a couple of things that I'm looking for as the listing agent to protect my seller, because there are people, and we can't speak to if the buyer's agent has done their job in educating their client on everything, right? So I know, Akila just touched on it. Some of my deals as the buyer's agent, I did have to waive appraisal. Now, those were very risky situations. Sorry, there's a train going by. They're risky situations, but we actually would seek out the advice of the lender. I had a lender that actually pre-qualified it to waive appraisal. So it wasn't just my buyer taking that leap of faith, it was their lender co-signing it. And boy, did that make us a stronger offer to say, we're done. Here's an email from our lender saying they don't even want to appraise, right? The other thing I'm noticing is on the listing side to protect your clients, okay? Oh, well, where I'm going with that is that if you're accepting multiple offers and you are getting into high numbers that do make you a little bit nervous, look, we all know our comps, that's why we price the house right. I am asking if anyone is willing to waive appraisal. That doesn't mean that they have to, but I'm trying to eliminate that one pitfall, right? Next, unfortunately, has been inspections. So if someone is bidding $50,000 over ask, we get to inspection, things that they would normally, in my opinion, let go, they're going for it. They're like, we gave you 50 over, I want $5,000 worth of work. Even things that we would consider a little excessive, like changing the insulation, that would be an improvement, right? It's not, there's something wrong, it's something to improve. So I have had to have the talk with my sellers about if someone was going to gift you $50,000 and they said right before they gave it to you, you know what? I'm going to make it $45,000. And I'm talking over ask, okay? So over our expectations. Are you going to refuse 45,000 extra dollars because they want their 5 back? So it's about keeping your seller expectations in reality. They don't have that money yet. And it's basically almost like refusing this gift because our goal was here. If we're here, just give a little bit. So it's just, I'm noticing that inspections are a little bit rougher to get through on the seller side in this market. But the key is really just making sure that your sellers are educated on where things can go wrong. And this way, when they potentially do, they feel less anxious about it.
Got it, got it. So I'm getting most of it is really preparing, consulting, and getting everyone ready to deal with where we are. Just to speed things up a little bit, I'm going to go to our next topic for discussion. So what do you guys think 2021 looks like? More of the same, or is it a shift? What do you think, Laura?
Sorry, I have to unmute myself. Well, right now, if interest rates stay where they are, and you know, it's always the economic supply and demand. If supply stays where it is and demand stays where it is, we will see more of a change. I would have to tell you that I'm really paying attention to the beginning and the middle, like early part of March of next year, which is usually when things start listing or have been, you know, rev up in listing, to be able to answer that a little more. Right now in October, I don't know that I can give you the best answer. If interest rates do rise, I do foresee something switching there. So again, I'm just keeping an eye on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Got it. What is your sense on this, Amber, in terms of, are we going to see a shift, you think? Have you started to actually see a shift in your markets? Because you're in Jersey and PA. What do you think we're going to be getting? More the same, or what?
I'm starting to see in the Philadelphia and greater Philadelphia area, I'm starting to see some price reductions on things that haven't moved. But those, because they're frankly overpriced, because for the most part, anything, I mean, you can take a tractor trailer with a sink in it and it would sell at this point. So I can't say with certainty what 2021 is going to be like, but I do feel like there's still a lot of pent up demand. I believe that people are waiting to see what's going to happen with the election, because as we always, you know, political years, election years can have an effect one way or the other. I don't think there's going to be this like, oh my God, the stock market is going to crash if Joe Biden gets elected. And I also don't believe like the world is going to explode if the current president remains in office. I think that it will definitely have an effect on what we're doing. Leslie, I know you wanted to move on, and I don't want to hijack your thing. I had something I really, really wanted to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, so regarding the thing that we were talking about last, Angela nailed it about managing sellers' expectations. Also managing buyers, agents' expectations when they put forth, you know, offers on your listing. But one thing that I would say for me as a listing agent who does a lot of listings, I have learned a lot from the offers that have been coming in on my listings, because what I've done is I've taken the best of each offer and assembled sort of like the ultimate way to position your buyer to get their offer accepted by me. So I've taken every little nugget that every creative realtor has put forth to put their buyer in best position, and I've made my own little like top 10 list of like the bulletproof offer. And so I would say for buyers agents who are listening, you know, when you got your heart broken a few times and your buyer got outbid, ask the listing agent, can you give me some feedback? Why did you not choose my buyer's offer, right? And do that. And for listing agents, when those packages are coming in, see the things that you find it impressive, and then use those yourselves when you're putting in offers, and also use those to raise the bar when you're considering which offer you're going to take for your seller. I just needed to say that.
Awesome. Great advice. Great advice. All right. What about you? Let's see. Laura spoke, Amber.
I have a question for Amber.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know, do you have your buyers do love letters for the house?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's like applying for a job, right? So when you're looking, to be hired in a position, you got to put your best foot forward. So your cover letter, right, is going to encapsulate who you are. And I believe that you need to include a narrative. So whether it comes directly from the buyer or you as the advocate for the buyer, because I consider myself an advocate, if I give a brief narrative about what makes this buyer different and special, why they can go the distance and actually make it to the closing table, tell their story, make them human, because otherwise I just got a bunch of paper here in my inbox, and after a while it's like want.
It's true. I just want to see a show of hands for everybody who does do those love letters.
Humanize people, especially now.
Yeah.
Humanize people.
Kathy doesn't. You don't ever do that for your buyers? Kathy?
I won't say I never do it, but as a listing agent, when we're going through our offers, I wasn't able to address a couple of things, but when we're going through our offers, at the end of the day, it's a business decision. They might look at that letter and say, oh, gee, that's nice, next. So I think one maybe accepted someone because of their letter, but he was still 20,000 over asking.
Okay. NAR, for the record, NAR does not approve of the love letters. Just saying.
In the chat that they're not allowed to do it in New York either.
So
Oh,
can I
really?
say something? The whole love letter thing, I personally, I feel like it's not even so much about putting the sellers on a guilt trip, because you're right, it's a business decision. But I still stand firm on the fact that to give a narrative and some bullet points about this person and give them, just like you give your unique value proposition to your sellers, you should choose me because I've done blah, 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 and I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. We need to do the same thing for buyers. And we should expect it. I think it's time we need to raise the bar, because when a buyer is like, well, how come my offer didn't get accepted? Well, guess what? Did you put your best foot forward? And if they're looking at their agent to be the advocate, then I'm putting it on the agent, because these people, this is not what they do for a living. That's what we do.
Yeah.
If I could just chime in on this really quick, I had 6 offers this year accepted because of the letter. I had an agent tell me that the seller cried when they read the letter.
Same,
Oh, really?
Cried.
same,
Right.
absolutely the
So,
same.
so every little bit helps. So just to
Yeah.
move a little bit further, I just want to ask you guys if you have anything in particular that you're going to implement in 2021, whether it's your source for leads, whether it's your leverage, are you forming a team, are you coming up with new systems or people to actually keep you on. Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, I kind of got skipped over the last couple of things. I just wanted to say for, our listings, I do the spreadsheet. I lay it out there for them. This is what they're putting out. And the lender is also very, very important. Who is their lender? Their lender should also be reaching out to them. Also, before I put the listing in, I do an OPA request. I want to make sure we have no open permits. And if they're saying that we had a new furnace put in, well, did you get a permit for it? Did you get a permit for the roof? Did you get this? And a lot of times an attorney review, well, we want to see permits for everything that you've done. And boom, there it is. You don't even have to waste time with it. Also, what I've been doing lately is having not so much a pre-inspection, but either sending my handyman or my journeyman in to check out things before we get to the home inspection, and everything's got to be done by a licensed professional. You can have your handyman do it for, $50, $100. They're not going to charge you for the visual because they're going to be getting the work anyway. So
So you're bulletproofing your transactions before you even put it on the market.
You have to do it that way because, those people that are paying $50,000 over asking, like Angela said, when it comes to the home inspection, they're going to be expecting, some crazy things or asking for some crazy things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So just real quickly, guys, I want any of you that have some very particular things that you from what you've learned in 2020 and before 2020, some specific things you think, you know what, this is what I'm going to do so that 2021 can be a better year. So just whoever raise their hand, shoot first. I'm not even going to pick. Whoever has something that they really want to share on that, be my guest. Just tell me, what are you implementing? Go ahead, Angela.
I just want to address the mindset. If I had one word, it's mindset. I know between March and June, everything ground to a halt for me. I had my children home. I didn't know what was going on in the world. It was very scary and anxious ridden. And look, not everybody has an easy situation. And you just have to really dig down and tell yourself to keep trying, even if you're not landing any contracts. Okay, take it even a step further back. Even if you're not even putting any offers in, are you reaching out? Are you at least showing properties? Are you providing a service to the people you know? So I say it's mindset, because I think that we're in the long haul with this weird normal we're in. And I think if you stay positive and keep pushing forward with all the challenges that each of you face, you can find your way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. They do say 90-something% of who you are and what you accomplish is your mindset, right? How you think, your perception and everything. So totally on point. So keep working on your mindset and making sure it's positive. All right. How about you, Kathy? What do you think you're going to focus on to?
So I'm going to try to streamline everything. I was having a conversation with someone in the office about a virtual assistant to help me with all those little nitpicky little things that you have to do on the back end. So that's a big part of it. And also, as far as the shift goes, there was an article that came out right before the pandemic about, I can't remember if it was NAR or NAJAR, about with the amount of baby boomers aging out. They were anticipating this mass inventory to hit the market within the next year or two. But since the pandemic happened, now we're seeing all these buyers coming out. So I think we're going to continue to stay in the same market, pretty much the same. It's going to be an even balance. We may not see the crazy bidding wars, but I think we're going to continue to be strong based on the amount of inventory that should be hitting the market and the amount of buyers that are in the market right now.
Right, absolutely. So I think what Kathy mentioned that she's going to do in 2021 is to really make sure that her time is used on dollar productive activities. She's going to use the concierge service. She's going to use our transaction coordinator and all those things to take care of those things. That's a great.
Well articulated. Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. Who else? What do you guys, Lorraine, Laura, Akila, Amber, what are you going to do this year or what are you going to plan to implement for 2021?
I'm going to create leverage through other people. I think that I'm so ready to delegate more and really operate in my highest and best use.
Yeah.
So, transaction coordinator for each and every single little thing that I do. I'm also starting to implement a person who specifically deals with putting my listings in, someone licensed who can actually take that off my plate. And before, I'm real anal about what my narrative looks like and what the description is. So before they press active, I need to read it. But I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, is this really the best use of me?
Yes.
It's just not. So just delegating, and then also everything CRM. I'm going to be a crazy maniac about my CRM.
Absolutely. Leverage. The 3 L's. All right. How about you, Lorraine? You're muted.
We can't hear you, Lorraine.
You're still muted. You're good now. Okay. Well,
Rich was messing with me. So yeah, definitely leverage. Thank you, Janine. I know she's on the call. She has been like my right hand, and that's, helping me a lot, when you're trying to be out with people and still do your job with all that paperwork and everything else. So I want to say absolutely leverage is key.
Yeah, key. And Akila, definitely. Go ahead, Akila. We've been talking about this for a while now.
For me, I think I need another buyer's agent, like a full-time agent that I need. I'm still going out with the buyers, and I don't want to go out with the buyers. So that's what I'm
Looking for. Okay,
looking
we'll be
forward
talking
to.
soon. How about you, Laura? We've also been talking lately about your leveraging. What are you going to do?
Oh my goodness. So I am, yes, overwhelmed with the amount of administrative stuff. So I'm definitely going to be doing the transaction coordinator and even looking into getting an assistant because, yeah, I can't keep up. Just can't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't allow me to continue building.
Yes, absolutely. Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for taking your time to do this, and for all of you who actually showed up to hear. I hope you got something of value. But I also want to remind everyone out here that we still have a lot of great events, classes, panels scheduled for the remainder of the month. I know for a fact on Friday we have Stephen Gandel, who is our regional director of technology. He's actually bringing in how to get listings through command. And one of my favorite people, Linda McKissick, is going to be here next week to talk to us about getting 10 listings every single month. And we also have our VP of industry, Jason Abrams, that's going to be here as well. So take a look, see what's coming up, make yourself available, and looking forward to seeing you guys soon. And again, thanks so much for coming today, and enjoy the rest of your day. All right.